Welcome back to our channel, World of Coins. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare quarter-dollar coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them because it could make you a millionaire overnight. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into a truly remarkable coin, the 2021 United States quarter dollar, featuring the iconic scene of George Washington crossing the Delaware. This coin isn't just a piece of currency, it's a snapshot of one of the most pivotal moments in American history. But here's the twist: this quarter has a hidden potential value that will absolutely blow your mind. Stick around to find out just how much this coin could be worth if you've got the right one in your collection. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate the historical significance behind this coin. The crossing of the Delaware River on Christmas night in 1776 was a defining moment in the American Revolutionary War. George Washington and his troops were about to launch a surprise attack on the Hessian forces in Trenton, New Jersey, turning the tide of the war. This quarter commemorates that courageous act with a powerful image of Washington standing at the bow of a boat, leading his soldiers through the icy waters of the Delaware. But here's where things get even more interesting. This coin, despite being a recent issue, has become a hot commodity in the numismatic world. The 2021 quarter featuring the crossing of the Delaware is part of the America the Beautiful series, a collection that celebrates the nation's heritage, culture, and history. However, not all of these coins are created equal. While the design is stunning, what really makes this coin special are the rare errors and unique features that have caught the attention of collectors. Some of these coins were struck with slight misalignments, uneven minting, or even mistakes in the design that make them incredibly valuable. If you happen to find one of these rare error coins, you're sitting on a hidden treasure. For example, some coins have a misaligned design, where Washington's image is not perfectly centered. Others may have doubling in the inscriptions or features that are slightly off from the original design. These imperfections, while subtle, make the coin even more unique and desirable. Error coins are always highly sought after because they're one of a kind, and collectors love adding them to their portfolios. Now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. If you happen to have one of these rare error coins in pristine condition, maybe one with a slight minting flaw or design misalignment, it could be worth a shocking sum. Some of these quarters have been known to sell for as much as $57,000, that's right. A 2021 quarter could fetch a jaw-dropping $57,000, depending on its condition and rarity. So, if you have one of these coins hiding in your collection, it might just be time to check its details closely. Before you go rushing to check your change jar, remember that not every coin is going to be worth thousands. But if you do happen to find one of these rare treasures, you'll know you've stumbled upon something truly special. Top 2. We're diving into one of the most intriguing quarters in American history, the 1973 United States quarter dollar. At first glance, it may seem like just another coin in your collection or even in your pocket, but trust me, there's more to this quarter than meets the eye. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at just how much this coin could actually be worth. The 1973 quarter is part of the Washington series, featuring the beloved George Washington on the obverse, and the eagle on the reverse. But what makes this specific coin so interesting is its rarity and the little-known fact that certain versions of the 1973 quarter have gained serious attention in the world of numismatics. While most people overlook this coin, it holds potential for a big payout, especially if you know what to look for. You might be thinking, it's just a regular quarter. How valuable can it be? Well, here's where things get interesting. Most of these coins were produced in large numbers, meaning the average 1973 quarter isn't worth much more than face value. However, there's a small percentage of these coins with minting errors that make them extraordinarily rare. And these error coins are where the magic happens. Some of the most sought-after 1973 quarters have been struck with minting mistakes, things like double strikes, die cracks, or off-center designs. These errors make a coin one of a kind, turning a simple quarter into a coveted collector's piece. A minor imperfection in the way it was minted can make a huge difference in the value. One of the most exciting errors collectors are after is a 1973 quarter that has a misaligned die or a double die strike. What this means is that the image on the coin isn't perfectly aligned, giving it a distinctive, slightly blurry appearance. This kind of flaw isn't just a minor mistake, it's a rare and unique feature that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. If you happen to have one of these rare, error-free or near-perfect condition 1973 quarters, especially if it features a significant minting mistake, you could be holding something truly valuable. In some cases, this coin has been known to fetch as much as $57,000, yes, you heard that right, $57,000. For a single quarter, a coin that most people wouldn't even think twice about. So, the next time you're flipping through your change, take a closer look at your 1973 quarters. You might just have a hidden treasure worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 3, we're talking about a coin that might just be sitting in your collection or even in your pocket, waiting to make you a fortune, the 1986 United States quarter dollar. At first glance, this quarter may seem like just another regular coin, part of the Washington quarter series. After all, it features the iconic profile of George Washington on the front, and an eagle on the back, symbolizing the strength and unity of the United States. But, what most people don't know is that the 1986 quarter has some serious potential value, especially if you're lucky enough to have one with the right features. Now, most of these 1986 quarters were minted in large numbers, so you might think, why would this one be worth anything more than 25 cents? Well, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and those special little errors that make certain coins stand out from the rest. The 1986 quarter was part of the standard Washington quarter series, which started in 1932 and continues to this day. However, it was also a year when several different minting errors started to appear in some of the coins. These errors, although small and sometimes hard to spot, can make a huge difference in a coin's value. Some of the most common errors found on the 1986 quarter include double strikes, die cracks, and off-center minting. These mistakes might seem insignificant, but in the world of coin collecting, they are gold. Double strikes occur when a coin is struck by the minting press more than once. This can create a slight overlap or distortion in the image. While it might seem like a flaw to the untrained eye, to collectors, it's a rare find. Coins with double strikes are often highly sought after, as they are unique and offer a fascinating glimpse into the minting process. Another error that makes the 1986 quarter so valuable is a die crack. A die crack occurs when the metal die used to strike the coins develops a crack. This crack transfers to the coins and appears as a line or mark on the surface. Die cracks are a common form of error, but finding one in a quarter that's still in good condition makes the coin even more desirable. But here's where things get really interesting: off-center strikes. This error happens when the coin is struck in the wrong position, causing the design to appear off-center. While this can make the coin look a bit odd, it's a rare feature that adds a unique touch, and collectors love these kinds of quirks. Now, you may be wondering, how much could a 1986 quarter with one of these errors really be worth? Well, if you have a 1986 quarter in mint condition, or even better, one with an error like a double strike, die crack, or off-center strike, you could be looking at a much higher value than you ever thought possible. You might be surprised to hear that certain 1986 quarters have been known to fetch an astounding $54,000. That's right, $54,000 for a coin that most people would never give a second thought. It's hard to believe, but with the right features and condition, a 1986 quarter can be worth a small fortune. So, if you have one of these error coins, or if you spot one in your change, you could be holding on to something really valuable. Of course, not every 1986 quarter is worth that much. Finding a coin with a significant error in pristine condition is rare. But the fact that such a coin exists, and that these mistakes can increase a coin's value so dramatically, makes the 1986 quarter a thrilling item to search for in your collection or in your spare change. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, I don't have any of those rare error coins. But don't give up hope just yet. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and you never know when you might find something special. Whether you're searching through your old coin collection, checking out estate sales, or hunting for rare coins at your local coin shop, the next big find could be just around the corner. So, what should you look for when hunting for your 1986 quarter treasure? First, check the condition. Coins in excellent, uncirculated condition are worth far more than worn-out quarters. Then, look for those minting errors, double strikes, die cracks, and off-center strikes. If you find one of these features, you may have just found a coin that could change your life. Before you go rushing to check all your 1986 quarters, remember that these coins were minted in large numbers, so finding one with these errors might take some time and patience. But with a little persistence and attention to detail, you could end up holding onto a coin worth much more than you thought. That if you've enjoyed learning about the value of the 1986 United States quarter dollar and want to discover more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. That way, you won't miss any of our future videos about hidden treasures in the world of coin collecting. Top 4, we're diving into a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket, waiting to surprise you with its true value, the 1989 United States quarter dollar. You might think this coin is just another standard quarter, but wait, there's more to it than meets the eye. Stick around because, by the end of this video, you might be looking at your spare change a whole new way. The 1989 quarter is part of the long-running Washington quarter series, which has been a staple in American currency since 1932. It features George Washington's portrait on the front, a symbol of leadership and strength, with an eagle on the back representing the power and unity of the United States. So far, this all sounds pretty typical for a quarter, right? But here's where things get interesting. Certain 1989 quarters are far rarer and more valuable than you might think. Now, most of these coins were minted in large numbers, so they're not exactly rare. In fact, you could find plenty of them in circulation or even in your coin jar at home. But, just like any other series of coins, there are a few rare and unique versions of the 1989 quarter that have caught the attention of serious collectors. What makes these coins stand out? It all comes down to errors, minting flaws, and unique characteristics that make them highly desirable. So, let's take a closer look at what makes a 1989 quarter stand out from the rest. The first thing you'll want to look for are minting errors. These happen when the coin doesn't get struck properly during the minting process, and they can be the key to unlocking a small fortune. Some of the most sought-after errors in the 1989 quarter include double strikes, die cracks, and off-center minting. These imperfections might sound subtle, but to collectors, they make all the difference. Double strikes are among the most coveted errors. A double strike happens when a coin is struck more than once by the minting press. This results in a faint second image or overlapping features on the coin. The double strike is subtle, but it's one of those small details that can elevate the coin's value, making it much more than just a typical quarter. Another error to watch out for is a die crack. This happens when the die used to strike the coin develops a crack, and that crack is transferred to the coin. Die cracks can appear in different locations on the coin, and depending on the size and position of the crack, it can make the coin even more valuable. A quarter with a prominent die crack is a rare find, and collectors will pay top dollar for these unusual errors. Off-center minting is another rare feature that can make the 1989 quarter highly desirable. This occurs when the coin is struck outside of its intended position, causing the design to appear off-center. Off-center coins are unique because they look different from the typical perfectly aligned coins. While these errors may seem like a flaw, in the world of coin collecting, they're seen as a rare and fascinating feature. But here's the thing, finding a 1989 quarter with one of these errors in pristine condition is extremely rare. Most of the coins produced that year were circulated heavily, and even those with slight imperfections are usually well worn. But if you manage to find a 1989 quarter with one of these unique minting errors and it's in excellent, uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a coin worth far more than face value. Now, let's talk about the money. If you've got a 1989 quarter with an error in good condition, it could be worth much more than just 25 cents. In fact, some of these rare error coins have been known to sell for incredible amounts. Depending on the error and the condition, certain 1989 quarters have been known to fetch as much as $51,000. Yes, that's right, $51,000 for a single quarter. Imagine finding a coin that has been tucked away for years, only to realize that it's worth more than you ever thought possible. So, how can you tell if your 1989 quarter is worth this kind of money? First, examine it closely. Look for any of the minting errors we discussed: double strikes, die cracks, and off-center minting. Then, check the condition of the coin. Coins that are in near mint or uncirculated condition are far more valuable than coins that have been heavily worn. If your 1989 quarter looks like it's been sitting in a jar for years, it may not fetch a high price. But if you find one that has been well preserved, it could be a different story. It's also worth noting that coins with more unique errors or features, such as rare die cracks or unusual off-center strikes, will be worth more than those with common flaws. So, if you've got a 1989 quarter with a particularly interesting error, you may have a hidden gem on your hands. Now, I know what you're probably thinking: finding a coin like this is incredibly rare, right? And while that's true, it's not impossible. Coins like this are out there, and if you know what to look for, you might just stumble upon one of these valuable treasures. Keep your eyes open when you're going through your change, checking estate sales, or visiting coin shops. The next great find could be waiting for you. To wrap things up, the 1989 United States quarter dollar is far more than just a regular coin. It's a piece of American history that could be worth a lot more than you think. Whether it's the subtle minting errors, the rarity, or the condition, there are a lot of factors that can make this quarter incredibly valuable. So, the next time you see a 1989 quarter, take a closer look. You might just have a coin that's worth $51,000. Top 5, we're about to reveal an incredible gem that's hiding in plain sight: the 1970 United States quarter dollar. You might have one of these coins lying around in your collection, in your spare change, or even tucked away in an old coin jar. But don't let its age fool you. This coin might be worth far more than you ever imagined. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be shocked at just how much this quarter could actually be worth. The 1970 quarter is a part of the Washington Quarter series, which has been a staple of American currency since 1932. On the front, you've got the well-known portrait of George Washington, one of the most iconic figures in American history. On the reverse side, you'll find the eagle, a symbol of freedom and power, representing the strength of the United States. Sounds like your typical quarter, right? Well, here's where things get exciting. The thing that makes the 1970 quarter stand out in the world of coin collecting is its rarity and potential value. While the coin was minted in significant numbers, certain versions of the 1970 quarter have unique characteristics and errors that can make them incredibly valuable. These imperfections and rare features are what collectors are on the lookout for, and finding one of these coins in the right condition could result in a small fortune. First, let's talk about minting errors. Minting errors are rare occurrences that happen during the coin production process, and they can drastically affect the value of a coin. The 1970 quarter is no exception. Some of these quarters were struck with defects like double strikes, die cracks, or even off-center designs. These errors make the coin more unique, and in the world of coin collecting, unique is king. One of the most highly sought-after errors in the 1970 quarter is the double strike. This occurs when the coin is struck by the minting press more than once, leading to a blurry or doubled image. It's a subtle flaw that can be difficult to notice unless you're paying close attention, but to collectors, it's a huge find. Double strikes are incredibly rare and increase the value of the coin significantly. If you happen to find a 1970 quarter with a double strike, you've found a hidden treasure that could be worth much more than face value. Another common error in the 1970 quarter is the die crack. A die crack happens when the metal die used to strike the coins develops a crack, and that crack is transferred to the coin. These cracks can show up in different parts of the coin, but they're often seen as a small line or flaw. While die cracks may seem minor, they make the coin more collectible, especially if the crack is large or in a prominent place on the coin. A quarter with a noticeable die crack is a rare find and can fetch a higher price in the market. Now, let's talk about off-center strikes. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in an off-center design. These coins often look slightly misaligned, with part of the design missing from the edge of the coin. While this might look like a flaw, off-center coins are highly desirable because they're unique and different from the typical coins you see in circulation. A 1970 quarter with an off-center strike is a rare and valuable find that could be worth a significant amount of money. If you've got a 1970 quarter with one of these rare errors or flaws, you're sitting on a potentially valuable piece of history. But it's not just the errors that make the 1970 quarter special. The condition of the coin is also a major factor in determining its worth. Coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition are much more valuable than those that are worn and damaged from years of circulation. So, if you've got a 1970 quarter that's been carefully preserved and still looks as good as new, you could be in luck. Now, let's get to the most exciting part, the value. If you happen to have a 1970 quarter with a rare minting error, or if it's in impeccable condition, you could be looking at a coin worth a shocking amount of money. Some of these rare quarters have been known to sell for as much as $64,000, yes, you heard that right, $64,000 for a single quarter. Imagine finding one of these quarters tucked away in your coin collection or, even better, in your pocket change. It's hard to believe, but it's true, this seemingly ordinary coin can be worth a small fortune. So, how can you tell if your 1970 quarter is worth that kind of money? Start by examining the coin closely. Look for any signs of minting errors, such as a double strike, die cracks, or an off-center strike. Then, check the condition of the coin. Coins that have been well preserved and still look brand new are far more valuable than those that have been worn down through circulation. If your coin is in excellent condition and shows no signs of damage, you're one step closer to discovering its true worth. It's also important to note that the rarity of the minting error plays a significant role in the value. The more unique the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. So, if you happen to find a 1970 quarter with an off-center strike or a prominent die crack, you could have a coin that's worth far more than a typical quarter. I know what you're thinking, finding a rare 1970 quarter with these kinds of errors is a long shot. But you never know when a valuable coin might show up in your collection, at a garage sale, or in your change. So, keep your eyes peeled, and make sure to take a closer look at your 1970 quarters. Before we wrap up, remember that coin collecting is all about patience, knowledge, and a little bit of luck. The next time you're going through your coins, keep an eye out for these rare 1970 quarters. You might just find a treasure worth $64,000. Top 6, we're diving deep into a coin that might just be more valuable than you think, the 1995 United States quarter dollar. At first glance, this might seem like just another ordinary quarter, but trust me, there's more to it than meets the eye. So stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know how much this quarter could actually be worth. Let's start with a little bit of history. The 1995 quarter is part of the long-running Washington quarter series, a coin that has been circulating in the U.S. since 1932. The design features George Washington's profile on the front, representing the first president of the United States. On the back, you'll find the traditional eagle, symbolizing power, freedom, and strength. It's a design that's been popular for decades and is instantly recognizable, but here's where things get interesting, there's more than meets the eye when it comes to the 1995 quarter. While the mint produced millions of these coins, certain 1995 quarters have become incredibly valuable due to rare minting errors and unique features that make them stand out from the rest. You might be wondering, what kind of errors could possibly make a simple quarter worth a fortune? Well, let me tell you, there are several types of minting mistakes that could turn a common 1995 quarter into a treasure worth thousands. First, let's talk about double strikes. This error occurs when a coin is struck by the minting press more than once, which can cause the design to overlap or appear blurred. It may seem like a small issue, but to collectors, double strikes are a goldmine. This subtle flaw can add significant value to a coin, and if you find a 1995 quarter with a double strike, you could be holding on to something worth far more than just a quarter. Next up are die cracks. A die crack happens when the die used to strike the coins develops a crack. When the die presses the design onto the coin, the crack gets transferred, and you might see a small line or crack on the surface of the coin. These cracks are actually quite rare and are highly sought after by collectors, especially if the crack is in a prominent spot on the coin. A 1995 quarter with a die crack, especially one that's large or easy to spot, can increase the coin's value significantly. Then, there's the off-center strike. This error occurs when a coin is struck out of alignment, causing the design to appear off-center. The result? A coin that looks like it's been misprinted, with part of the design missing from the edges. Off-center coins may seem flawed to the untrained eye, but to collectors, they're incredibly desirable. These coins stand out because they're unique, and their rarity can skyrocket their value. Now, the real magic happens when you combine one of these rare errors with an uncirculated or near-perfect condition. Most 1995 quarters have been through years of circulation, meaning they're worn and might have scratches, discoloration, or damage. But finding a 1995 quarter in pristine condition is a different story. Coins that have been well preserved, without any signs of heavy circulation, are highly coveted. A quarter in mint condition with an error could be worth a small fortune, and that's what makes coin hunting so exciting. So, how much are these rare 1995 quarters worth? You're probably thinking, there's no way a quarter could be worth that much. But the truth is, certain 1995 quarters with minting errors or in exceptional condition have sold for some jaw-dropping amounts. The most valuable of these quarters have been known to fetch up to $44,000. Yes, you heard that right, $44,000 for a single quarter. It's hard to believe, but it's true. A coin that many people would overlook or dismiss as just another regular quarter could actually be worth a small fortune. Now, I know you might be thinking, how can I tell if I have one of these valuable 1995 quarters? The key is to look for those rare minting errors. Double strikes, die cracks, and off-center strikes are the main features to look out for. If you find a 1995 quarter that has one of these characteristics and it's in excellent, uncirculated condition, you might just have a coin that could be worth thousands. Make sure you don't miss out on these hidden treasures. It's important to thoroughly examine every 1995 quarter in your collection. Check for any signs of minting errors, and make sure to look at the condition of the coin. A coin in excellent shape will always be worth more than one that's heavily worn, so make sure to check the edges, the design, and the surface for any imperfections. And remember, even though finding a 1995 quarter with a rare error is exciting, it's not always easy. You'll need to be patient and thorough in your search. But who knows? The next time you're going through your loose change or browsing through a coin shop, you might just stumble across a 1995 quarter that's worth thousands. In the world of coin collecting, it's all about finding that hidden gem, that one special coin that's worth far more than face value. The 1995 quarter is just one example of how a simple mistake during the minting process can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. If you're lucky enough to find a 1995 quarter with a minting error, especially one that's in great condition, you could be looking at a coin worth $44,000. Top 7 and last unique coin, we're diving into a quarter that might be hiding in your collection or even your pocket. Yes, the 1974 United States quarter dollar. It's not just another quarter you might come across in your spare change. This coin has the potential to be worth much more than you might expect. If you're a collector or someone who loves discovering hidden treasures, this video is for you. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why the 1974 quarter is so special, and how it could be worth a small fortune. The 1974 quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, which has been in circulation since 1932. For decades, it's featured the iconic profile of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, symbolizing freedom, strength, and unity. But just because a coin has a familiar design doesn't mean it's not special. In fact, the 1974 quarter, like many coins, carries its own unique value, especially when it comes to rarities and minting errors. The 1974 quarter was produced during an interesting time in U.S. history. The country was in the midst of economic and political changes, with the Watergate scandal shaking the nation and the Vietnam War coming to an end. The coin itself might not scream historic, but over time, it's become a valuable piece of history, especially for collectors. The 1974 quarter's value depends heavily on its condition, rarity, and any potential minting errors. So, what makes this quarter stand out? Let's talk about minting errors first. These little imperfections are what makes certain coins highly valuable. And yes, the 1974 quarter has its share of these rare errors, which is exactly what makes it so interesting. When a coin is struck, sometimes something goes wrong during the process, whether it's the alignment, the pressure, or the die used for the minting. When these things happen, the result is a coin that is no longer perfect, and that imperfection can actually increase its value among collectors. One of the most valuable types of minting errors is the double strike. A double strike happens when a coin is struck by the press more than once, causing the design to appear faint or overlapping. It's one of the most sought-after errors among collectors because it's both rare and unique. If you happen to find a 1974 quarter with a double strike, you could have a coin that's worth far more than its face value. Another minting error to watch out for in the 1974 quarter is the die crack. A die crack occurs when the die used to strike the coin gets a crack in it. This crack is then transferred to the coin during the minting process, resulting in a small line or flaw on the surface. While it may seem like a small defect, collectors actually love die cracks because they are evidence of the coin's creation process and add to its uniqueness. If you find a 1974 quarter with a noticeable die crack, especially one that's large or in an interesting location, you might be looking at something worth a lot more than just 25 cents. Off-center strikes are another error that could make the 1974 quarter more valuable. When a coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, it can lead to an off-center strike, where the design appears shifted or misaligned. The result is a coin that looks a little different from your typical quarter. These off-center coins are a collector's dream because they are truly unique and hard to come by. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that all sounds great, but how can I actually tell if I've got one of these valuable 1974 quarters? It all comes down to closely examining the coin for these errors. The first thing you want to do is carefully inspect the surface of the coin. Look for any signs of double strikes, die cracks, or off-center designs. A magnifying glass can really help in spotting these tiny but important details. It's also important to check the condition of the coin. The value of a coin can fluctuate greatly depending on how much wear and tear it's experienced. If the 1974 quarter has been through years of circulation, it might not be worth as much, no matter what errors it has. However, if the coin is in excellent condition, preferably uncirculated or near mint, it could significantly increase its value. Now, let's talk about the big question: how much is the 1974 quarter actually worth? While most 1974 quarters aren't worth much more than their face value, a rare 1974 quarter with one of these minting errors could be worth thousands of dollars. And I'm not talking about just a few bucks here and there, I mean serious money. Some of these rare coins have been known to sell for $62,000. Yes, you heard that right, $62,000 for a single 1974 quarter. So, if you happen to come across a 1974 quarter, don't just toss it aside as another old coin. Take a closer look. If you find one with an error like a double strike, die crack, or off-center strike, and it's in great condition, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Even if you don't think your 1974 quarter has any errors, it's still worth checking out. Coins in pristine condition or with unique characteristics can still fetch impressive prices, but it's not all about minting errors and condition. Another thing that can affect the value of a 1974 quarter is its rarity. Some quarters are more valuable simply because fewer of them were produced or because they were produced in limited quantities. That's why it's important to do some research and stay up to date on what's happening in the world of coin collecting. If you've got a 1974 quarter with a minting error, or if it's in pristine condition, it's definitely worth having it appraised. You might be surprised to learn just how valuable it really is. And remember, even if you don't have a rare coin, the hunt for valuable coins is all part of the excitement of collecting. So, the next time you find a 1974 quarter, don't just look at it as pocket change. You could have a rare and valuable coin on your hands, worth $62,000. Keep searching, keep hunting, and who knows, your next big find could be sitting right in front of you. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss out on future coin discoveries. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. You never know what hidden treasures might be waiting for you.